James 16 will not be presented this evening, but will return next week at its regular time. Stay tuned.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners. Coming February 21st, it's Faye and the Moon, the latest graphic novel from Franco and the Saturn Sisters. Faye, mourning for her missing mother, sits night after night below the moon that her mother loved dearly. One night she discovers she can pluck the moon out of the star-filled sky. Back safe in her house, she holds it close, feeling comfort at last. Then Faye loses the moon and finds that taking it has awakened ancient monsters, rats, dragons, and more, who hunt for it for themselves. Will Faye be able to reclaim the moon, find her own inner strength, and save the world from eternal darkness? Faye and the Moon comes from the minds of Franco, whose works include Tiny Titans, Superman of Smallville, Archimaniacs, Itty Bitty Hellboy, and The Ghost and the Owl, and art from the Saturn Sisters, whose animated works include Sesame Studios' The New Neighbors, Hulu's The Awesomes by Seth Meyers, and PBS's Mira, Selkie from the Sea. Pre-order Faye and the Moon now. Available in bookstores and comic shops everywhere, February 21st. Welcome back, everybody. Time again for another Trek Watch here on Word Balloon. We're talking about Picard, Season 3, Episode 7. I believe it was called Dominion. We got a little more information on our bad guys. Got Franco, we got Wayne, we got Water Buffalo Mitch. Good to see you, Mitch. I like the helmet. And, it was I think this was better than Episode 2. But I would say of the 7 we've seen so far, a little weaker in my opinion. But I did watch it another time, and I did find that maybe I wasn't paying as close attention on the first viewing, and it was better than I thought. But everybody else's thoughts?
I thought it was an okay episode. I just, didn't really thrill me. Didn't do a lot of to fill in anything. A little bit more background on the bad guys, but that's about it.
I too watched it twice because I thought I missed something. I was like, oh, maybe there was something going on, and even on the second viewing, I didn't really miss much.
It doesn't sound like the changelings are the real baddies behind it.
Yeah,
that's when she was talking to him. Because didn't he say it would be bad for your species?
Something along those lines. Yeah. And also, I'm still not convinced that the Vanix underlings are also changelings. If they are, then what really bothered me, and again, I understand there were budget cuts. I understand that the fact that is so ship-driven and kind of a bottle show, as they like to say, that doesn't bother me. What did bother me, if they are changelings, why did they stay in human form when they were chasing Jack and Sydney? Because they should kind of CGI ooze around like Terminator 2 or, of course, during Deep Space Nine with the changelings. And instead of just running after them and shooting after them, I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. So I hope, too, that there's still some sort of mystery, and I hope it's revealed in this next episode, episode 8. We're running out of time. And if they're not changelings, what are they? So,
those bird helpers, I think they're just like hired henchmen. I don't believe they're changelings.
But fine, I still want to know who they're what they represent, other than just being. They can't just be goons. Penguin goons.
I was going to say this have the name Goon 1 and Goon 2.
Yeah. What does Langley say here? They're starting to come across into territory I was worried about. The Deep Space Nine universe and lore, of course, or of all the people they should probably talk to is Odo, or at least try to talk to him. Yeah, but he's dead, Langley. I mean, I hear what you're saying. So that's not going to happen. What I was expecting, and maybe it will still happen, we have 3 episodes, was, like I said last time, Julian Bashir, somebody with knowledge of the disease. And again, you're not going to see Odo. I mean, and I don't want them to, and I don't think they have the budget to do a general Tarkin like they did in Rogue One.
No.
No.
So. Did you like the Tuvok?
My God, yes.
Yeah,
absolutely, I did.
Even though it wasn't him, it was still cool to see him.
But also, and I got to point it out, what's with the ears, man? Like,
you look like a Keebler elf, man.
Yeah,
you look like you should be making toys in Santa's workshop.
Okay, well, first of all, it wasn't him, so I'll attribute that to not being him. Second of all, I can attest as you get older, your ears get bigger and longer.
They do.
And this is annoying. So don't mess around with the guy just because he's getting older.
Hey,
and Terry Metalis posted he couldn't believe that people were upset. Apparently, they were upset about his age. He said Spock was like 65 years old in whatever Discovery Country or whatever, about the same age as Nimoy was. And Tuvok was supposed to be 103 or 30. I can't remember what the number was. And people were mad about the aging of the stuff. And he says, this is what you people are complaining about?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it didn't bother me. I always assume Vulcans are like 200 or 300 years old anyway. So I don't know.
No, I agree from an age standpoint. No, they said on Voyager that Tuvok was over 100 years old. And also he had to be, given that he was on Sulu's crew of the Excelsior. So that's all that makes sense. Again, it's just the years. And it's so funny, Franco, because Chucky said the same thing. He's like, well, you know how when old people, their ears get weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess, yeah, I suppose. But they were so prominently, hi, how you doing, Seven? Nice to see you. They're like Mitch.
Morning.
Mitch is wearing the buffalo thing. It's kind
I like Chucky's explanation. Their ears get weird.
Yeah. Like Harrison Ford on that new show, Shrinking. Oh my God, I've never seen his ears so big in my life. They look like they were like that big. They were huge.
Okay, first of all, spoilers, because I haven't seen that.
Well, I ruined the ear thing.
Second of all, my biggest pet peeve with this episode was when, Picard and his son are talking, and he says, well, I have an idea. And I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to see what this idea is. And his idea was, let's get them on the ship and trap them. Like,
that was
I'm not a Starfleet captain, and I could have thought of that one.
Don't let them take the bridge. Well, okay, then why'd you let them on the ship to begin with, jackass?
Yeah, lame. And also, he's standing there with Vatic and the underlings, and all right, let's have a really long conversation. Get him! He's right in front of you. Get him! And that's where it's like, again, this is where the writing. It's like, come on, guys, try.
I wanted to hear the Benny Hill music in the background while they were running around.
Yeah.
I agree with.
I'll tell you one thing. I think LeVar Burton had better acting scenes this week than he did that whole little spiel about Data and lore, which I was like, okay, that's why I had to watch it twice, because I got lost. Like, what the hell's going on here? Lore took control of the ship's computer system and put up those force fields that was stopping LeVar Burton or whatever, LaForge's daughter. She was going to get beaten up by the goon.
Incorrect.
And what was happening there? And he's like, please.
No, that was part of Picard's kid's plan, was to trap them in force fields.
Yeah.
Right.
Lore's plan was, screw that. I'm going to drop the force fields and screw everybody up.
Yep. Correct.
I guess. I was like, okay.
Oh, that's what happened. That is what Wayne read it correctly. Exactly. I can appreciate the confusion, Mitch. But no, Wayne read it correctly. Actually, I wanted to acknowledge Langley's comment. He loved the way they used Voyager lore to trick Tuvok.
Yeah.
I agree. And also, I agree with Mike, who said when Tim Russ just very subtly changed emotion once it was revealed that he was a changeling, and just that slight smile.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then him morphing into Riker was great. But yeah, it was, I mean, especially the way episode 6 ended with Deanna and Will, to not have them at all in the episode, I think was a mistake. And also, Worf and Raffi, I mean, they acknowledge that they're off doing whatever to get their intelligence, but I also don't know. I would assume they're all fugitives right now in Starfleet.
Well, they have those cool, badass black leather jackets on that tell you they're like punk asses now. Do you need that little field jacket? They got a wardrobe change because now they're on Rebel. I'm like, what? We got time to change our costumes or something?
I don't know.
I think poor Star Trek Franco, Captain Shaw, got his ass whooped there in the elevator. I was like, what the fuck? It looked like that scene from Public Enemy #1. No. It looked like that James Cagney movie from years ago when they open the door like, Johnny's home. And they open it up and the dead body falls through. I thought Shaw was dead. Every week this guy looks like he's buying it, but he comes on back. I'm like,
maybe, it's interesting because Stashwick, the actor, has been a little coy. And I mean, because obviously we all love Captain Shaw, and man, the fans are like, we want a Captain Shaw series, and I can't.
Legacy.
Yes, but I'm waiting for. He might end up dying. You don't know.
He might.
I don't know.
Yeah. So what is that name? Is that something that the fans has kind of made up? I keep seeing that being tweeted everywhere, like Star Trek Legacy, make it happen, make it. I go, is that an official working title for a show or some fan fiction nonsense?
Well, it's just that the fans want it.
Yeah.
And again, we have so many legacy characters with Geordi's kids and Picard's kid, and
it's not a bad title.
Well, I think it's too on the nose. I would much rather have a Star Trek Titan show with legacy characters on it, but that's me.
That is you.
What do I know? So, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There were just a couple little hokey things, but then, like you said, Mitch, I agree with you. That when Geordi's really pouring his heart out to Data, that was great.
That was a good scene, yeah.
Yeah, you can feel the friendship between the two of them that they built over the years. That's what he was trying to tap into.
Yes. But yeah, again, like what held me back from loving the episode, just like Franco said, beyond learning a little bit more of the Dominion's motivation, or I should say, these changelings' motivations, we really didn't get much other story. We got some character moments, but that's about it,
Having said all that, much better than anything I've seen on Discovery.
Oh, hell yeah.
I feel like I have to say that every episode.
And by the way, let's take a moment and acknowledge the announcement that they are making Starfleet Academy.
Yes.
But sadly, as suspected, it is taking place in the
Fingers crossed for Tilly.
I know you're the lone Tilly fan, Francis. I understand, and I get it. But that said, I'm sorry. I really hate that. I hate that future on so many levels.
Yeah.
And also, they're going to go to teen drama. And boy, good thing there's no other teen drama in film or television that Star Trek needs to get into teen drama.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me it's going to be set in that 1,000-year future?
Yeah, they said it in the article.
It's that they're stuck in now? Ugh, yeah, that is depressing. Where they eat shit for food, literally?
Stop saying that.
I didn't write it.
Well, I know you didn't write it, but kind of like Picard being an android, I'd rather not acknowledge it. So please stop doing that, or I'm not going to invite you to this goddamn show.
Mind trick.
I love it.
Never happens.
That's the other show.
There is no food.
In space, there's no food. You just got to eat reprocessed shit. God damn it.
Stop saying, that was John.
Are they spending a lot of money because they got no lights on this ship? I get it. They're in like battle conditions and it's got to be dark.
Yeah.
But my God, man, put a flashlight on somewhere. It's like they had the Christmas lights on Data's head.
Well, no, they did have lots. They had to save the money for all the lens flares.
I guess so, but I'm like, man, it's hard to see this screen,
I'm broadcasting live from the Titan. What are you talking about?
I know, you look like you're on that show. Exactly.
I did think that J.J. Abrams directed this episode there for a second with all those.
Nice.
Yeah, with all those lens flares happening.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I unfortunately, those who have seen all 10 episodes have kind of telegraphed, without spoiling, that episode 8 is going to be a lot more dense as far as story and character moments.
Dense.
And of course, Riker and Troy are going to be featured prominently, which is good because again, it's like that 7th or that 6th episode cliffhanger with Riker all beaten up, and then he sees Deanna, and then to waste an hour not even seeing them, it's like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, man.
That's to build the anticipation for episode 8. They want you on. They want you to keep watching. They don't want you to stop.
Not good. Any other thoughts? I've got more about Starfleet Academy. I just think, again, this is just their opportunity to lean into the laziest amount of writing. And don't worry, I know it's sci-fi, but really it's more about the teenagers and their affairs and all the bullshit that, again,
About the show, though, I've noticed every time, no matter it's Netflix or Paramount, whatever, whenever there's a 10-episode series, it always seems like episodes 7 and 8 are like tacked on for some reason, that have like some weird backstory that really doesn't affect the overall outcome. It's just to pad it. I don't know if it's the structure of the series. Like, we need to have so many hours. Was this a shorter episode? I didn't look at the time on it, but
yes. It was only about 40 minutes, I think.
It was like almost like deleted scenes. Like if you cut most of this, it would have been like nobody would have missed anything. But
no, I agree. I
maybe
know
they order it. Maybe they order 10 episodes. The network says we want 10, not by the minutes, but like the segments or something.
That's the problem, Mitch. They start off with, we need you to fill 10 episodes rather than write the story.
Yeah.
And let's see how long it is. And then, because again, I've spoken to many other showrunners of other intellectual properties, and the conversation was, well, we thought we were going to do it in 6 episodes. We felt like we needed a little bit more, so we made it 8 episodes. And obviously, this has been a huge problem, not only with other shows, but specifically Star Trek. Discovery always limps in the middle. Picard has always limped in the middle. Yeah. And then it's, okay, let's rush to the end. And it's like, what are you going to do?
I noticed it on all those Marvel Netflix shows. I used to watch, Daredevil and all that. It's going great. And then you got around 7 or 8. You're like, what's going on here? But anyway, enough with that. You can go on about Starfleet Academy. Yeah.
Well, as Langley just said, the Discovery producers are the last group I want in charge of Academy series. The showrunners announced were Kurtzman, and forgive me, I don't remember the woman's name, but she was running the Netflix Sabrina show. Oh, that's a teen show. Gee, I wonder what she's going to bring to the table.
It's going to be like
and I hope I'm wrong. I really, really hope I'm wrong. I agree with Mike. Last week's kind of shows how much Frakes has been the MVP of the show. As someone else said, if Frakes doesn't get an Emmy nomination for this season, that's a crime because he's killing it. He really is killing it. So,
he is.
Mike says, have a perfectly good Star Trek future in whenever it happens post-Picard, which now has been redeemed with fans. Oh, and I guess as in contrast of when they're doing Starfleet Academy rather than building on this season of Picard, it's a missed opportunity. I do agree with that. And Langley says, minus Strange New Worlds, the lighting for live-action Trek is rather annoying. I completely agree. JD wants to know, and I haven't seen this yet, have any of us read The High Country? And you know what sucks? Franco and I were just at, hang on, Mitch. Franco and I were just at C2E2, and John Jackson Miller was there. I went to his table, and he wasn't at his table. He was doing a panel, and I forgot to come back because I really wanted to meet him face-to-face. I hear nothing but great things about this book. Have you read it, Mitch, or are you aware of it?
I was just going to say, that's the John Jackson Miller. I am halfway through the audio book because I had a long drive back and forth from Virginia for 5 hours. It's like 16 hours, though, but I'm almost done with it. It's good so far. It's really good.
Good to know.
Yes, so I highly recommend it. I'm going to turn it off now.
Langley says, as long as it's not a Roberto Aguirre Acosta, is nowhere near Star Trek.
No.
He's the Riverdale showrunner. I got to tell you, man, I'm digging Riverdale this year, and I love that they set them in time and they're in the 50s. Mm-hmm. And Jughead's wearing the classic sweatshirt with the S, and he's got his old beanie back and everything.
Nice.
And they're all in high school, which makes no sense. But and then right at the beginning of the first, spoiler, for the first episode, Jughead's the only one that's aware that they've been set back in time. But by the end of the episode, he gets a memory wipe, so he's sucked into the 50s as well.
Oh, I dropped out of Riverdale after season 3.
I came back
couldn't
to it,
care less.
But I came back to it because of this season, and it's goofy, but it's goofy in the same way that Riverdale in general has been goofy, and I appreciate the weirdness. That's me. What can I say? But back to Trek. Any other thoughts on the episode itself? Sydney and Jack flirting with each other?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
And he can read minds.
And further, not only can he read minds, but apparently he can manipulate
control
Sydney's body in the fight scene and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Come in handy.
I hope
maybe Picard isn't sick. Maybe he doesn't have that disease. That was what Laura was saying.
They said some kind of misdiagnosed thing. I was like, wait, what? Really? Uh-oh.
Are you saying Picard or Jack? Maybe doesn't have
Picard. They're saying that.
Well, he said Picard did. Yeah. What did she call it? She said it wasn't really
Irritmatic syndrome.
Yeah, it was something else that made him unique or something like that.
Well, I thought because he's in the Gollum body now, the android body, he doesn't have it anymore.
Oh no! But it's because they wanted his actual body.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And with Jack's DNA, there's something that they can probably
Oh yes,
Frankenstein into something.
Yeah, but we still don't know what and why.
Yeah, because you want to make a perfect clone for Frontier Day to impersonate me or something because I have to use my DNA because I'm supposed to be doing a speech there, and that's why they were. He thought that was why they were trying to get their bodies to make like a fake one or whatever. I'm like, what are you talking about, Jean-Luc?
So what you're saying is what Langley is saying in terms of Vadic alluded to the thing in Picard and Jack's head was responsible for his birth. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, you see that in those posts in the credit where they have the Elcard images. You always see that strand of DNA, so something's coming. So, but I liked Vadic explaining her motivations in terms of being a lab rat for Starfleet, much in the same way Odo was with Dr. whatever his name is, the Bajoran scientist that was messing around with Odo in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind that. Matt, welcome, Matt. Matt says, what I don't understand about this celebration day, Picard said they needed his DNA, but that Picard doesn't have DNA anymore. No, but again, we had the surviving body that was revealed in Section 31's cachet of things. Did you guys see that Shatner wrote about him being that his body was revived, and he's like, all right, whatever. He had a weird kind of non-committal quote about it. I can't even remember it, but it made me laugh that he even acknowledged. I don't know if somebody asked him, but he chirped in about it, which was pretty funny to me.
You know what? I've been going back and watching Strange New World. By the way, this book by John Jackson Miller takes place just before the episode that's called the something shanty, whatever. Remember when they got the mutiny when the girl tried to kidnap Spock because they were going to break out? What's it, the brother? I can't.
Yeah, Stybok.
Yes, this story takes place because the doctors tell us the daughter. But I was watching Strange New Worlds again, and they reference Section 31 on that show real quick, and I'm thinking, how top secret is this Section 31 that seems to be conveniently everybody knows about? You know what I mean? It's like, well, it's before Section 31.
Is it more something like the CIA where everybody knows about it? Just they
just don't know what they exactly do.
Yeah,
Black Ops.
But you could also, especially given the time jump from the original series era to the Next Generation or even Deep Space Nine, that maybe during the original era that they did exist and then all of a sudden became more covert as the years progressed because there's 80 years between the two eras. But that said, back to Kirk's body being held by Section 31, what didn't occur to me, and I don't think we talked about it last week, that doesn't that open the possibility that much like cloning whomever, they could clone a new Kirk, and now new young Kirk from Strange New Worlds could exist in the post-Picard future. So that actor can now interact with Next Generation vets, Jack Crusher, Sidney LaForge, and that at least is interesting. I don't know how they'd execute it.
Well,
but I have to say, in fairness, Ethan Peck has grown on me as Spock. And as much as I hated him on Disco and those short treks, he's now warming up to me.
Yeah, when he had the beard, I never liked him, but now he's normal Spock. I like him.
Yeah.
No, that reminds me of the Kahless episode from Next Generation, or was it Deep Space Nine? Remember they cloned Kahless, the Klingon Jesus? And it's like he was just a lab experiment. Yeah, so they've had that storyline where they, clone people and pretend there's somebody
else.
But
they're different people. But they're different people, though. I mean, I understand, and for different motivations. What I'm saying is there's an opportunity beyond the Strange New World era of having a James Kirk in the 25th century, which I think is kind of interesting.
That would be cool.
So, but no, I agree with you. No, they did do it before, and they did it to great effect, I think. I love that, Caleb. I love that story. I love that Caleb story.
Yeah.
Langley says, hold on. Get up there. There it is. I have a problem with Discovery. Oh, no, here. First of all, Vadic's origin being tortured by Section 31 only reinforces that I don't want a Section 31 series. At worst, we follow terrible characters. At best, we follow compromised heroes trying to take 31 down. I completely agree with all of that. He has a problem with Discovery conflating 31 as being the same as Starfleet intelligence. They're very different animals. Completely agree with that. So let's see. Matt's got more. Matt, I think it's the first time you've joined us. I'm glad you're watching.
I like his sister Olivia.
Thank you. It sounds like Picard was saying for him to do his speech or whatever at the celebration, there needed to be a DNA certification for him. And maybe that's why the bad guys wanted his DNA. I think we'll find out, obviously, in episode 8. He says, but he couldn't give it to him his own DNA because he's a golem.
They wanted to create a body so they could put a bomb in it.
Yeah.
Not the fact that Frontier Day.
Not the fact they blew up a giant building already by just making a portal thing open up.
But if they make a bomb out of Picard, they could take out the entire fleet at once.
Yeah, but they jettisoned the portal gun.
Oh.
Which I don't get either. Yeah. Because that does seem like a good destructive weapon.
No, they're going to get that tentacle thing to come back through the wormhole and just eat the planet. That's why they needed Picard, because he can control it.
If Metalis can take out more elements of season 1 and have them make sense, way to go. Way to go. I have no idea. I mean, the fact that he's even made Picard being an android germane to season 3 is a small but I think effective achievement. So I am stunned, although I understand with the pending writer strike that everyone's afraid of. Maybe that's why Metalis hasn't immediately gotten a new Star Trek show. The Starfleet Academy show had been in development since last year.
With Tilly.
So, Stanley wants to know any chance of Picard season 4. That would be cool. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. It was always set up to be 3 seasons.
Yeah, I think they should go out on a high note with this one.
Yeah.
If they stick the landing.
Don't do an aftermash. Don't do that.
Keep watching after the credits, because apparently there is, in the style of Marvel, a post-credit series scene at the end of episode 10. I've already been alerted to that. Metalis was not live, but via Zoom at GalaxyCon in Virginia the week before. And if people want to watch it, the Inglorious Trexperts did a panel and had Terry via Zoom, and it's very informative. Very, very informative. So Matt says, minor gripes aside, they've done an incredible job writing the season. Absolutely. 100%, man. And
we just take the minor gripes and make them seem like really big, or else we'd have nothing else to talk about.
Right. Well, but again, they are kind of like, all right, like why wasn't someone in the writer room to be a shit detector and go, maybe the underlings, if they're changelings, the underlings chasing Jack just really did bother me. It's just like, what? And also, if they're not, don't wait till the last couple episodes to reveal who they are.
Well, they could be like the Jem'Hadar for the Dominion, another version of the Jem'Hadar.
But again, I want to know. I mean,
you'll find out at episode 10.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck them for if they do that.
Wow.
No,
It's a black hole.
as I understand the pacing of the show, 9 and 10 are the big climax. I'm expecting pretty much everything to be revealed next week, or this week, I should say, and then we'll finally get to the big climax, and we'll know everything. And now it's Frontier Day, and now it's up to the Titan to stop whatever's happening. So,
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. David says, and welcome, David. Mattel says is a lot like Jeff Johns, incorporating all continuity, both the good and the bad, to lay a foundation for future stories. I can't praise the man enough. Totally agree.
Yes.
No, this guy's getting a shit ton of goodwill from fans.
Yeah.
And if Paramount isn't smart enough to lock him up for a new Trek show, somebody will.
He marvelized Star Trek. And by that is you get the stuff from the comics and you kind of pick and choose some of the elements and you make your own new thing. But for the fans that know the history of the comics, they go to the movies and they go, oh, look, they reference this. Oh, that's this story arc from back in Chris Claremont. Oh, isn't this cool? So you're getting new people and you're placating the old people. And that's how Marvel does it.
Yeah, that's again what I was saying on the last episode. Good storytelling, like that whole thing with Seven and Tuvok at the beginning. Yeah. You don't need to know anything about Voyager. You never have to have seen an episode. But for us that have, that's pretty cool. But you don't need that backstory. But they use it effectively.
I like when they play the Voyager theme when she's like, "Oh, he's cool," that too. And then she tripped him up and she goes, "Wait a minute. You would never be here," because that's when they had the anti-Ponfar rallies and Vulcan would ever do it. It's like
anti-Ponfar rallies, by the way, cracked me up.
No, it was the other thing, the Kulinar.
Oh, I thought it was Ponfar, or maybe
it
was
Kulinar.
It was Kulinar, but
it's one of those
anti-Kulinar. Give me a break. Who's against pure logic? F you. But it cracked me up. It was fantastic.
Far away.
Very funny. Very funny.
It was there, yeah.
Oh, welcome, Chris Topher. Man, we have a lot of cool people coming in.
Chris Topher. That's nice.
He wants to know, am I still reading the IDW Cisco Star Trek? I absolutely am. I want Jackson and Colin to come back on the show. We only had Jackson on the first time, but hopefully I can have Jackson and Colin. And also, new talk with Chris Cantwell as well, who's doing the Worf comic, which takes place in the same time period as the Cisco IDW comic. And we talked about last week, Day of Blood or whatever the hell it's called, the big Star Trek event is coming this summer. So, that's funny. Stanley goes, I really love Brent Spiner. Why isn't he in more stuff? Well, I don't know, man. I check his IMDb. I think he does do plenty.
He's shown up.
I like how he changed his facial expressions. Like you could see Data is very respectful, calm, like almost like a kid's face.
Yeah.
And then Laura's just like, I'm going to tear you apart.
What's this guy talking about? Don't we have that album, that great album, Old Yellow Eyes from him? And wasn't he the cruise director on that show with on that movie with
Jack Lemmon and Walter?
Yeah.
Out to sea.
And
he's great in it when he sings. He's hilarious. He's a great bad guy. Oh, that's funny. Langley says he thinks he does a lot of stage. Maybe he does. I don't know. And Langley is right. Coming up in the Worf comic, they're only on issue 1 or 2, but in issue 5, there's a cover with Sela.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah,
Oh, he did. I was listening to that. He was the Joker in the DC Batman audio adventures.
That's correct.
Brent Spiner was?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Hey, wait a minute. What happened to that cloaking device that they stole? They don't have it anymore?
Oh, they do.
Still have it.
Then why didn't they turn it on when they were floating around that asteroid field?
It was a scrapyard.
Yeah, so just
and by the way, that was another great Easter egg, the Shintaka shipyards that Worf and Martok and Quark, Bashir, and O'Brien to memorialize Jadzia and get her into Tovacor. That's the Shintaka shipyards that they destroyed when they flew their bird of prey close to the sun, and it had the solar flare and it wiped out all the ships.
I did not know that. Wow, that's really deep cut there, huh?
Absolutely. Oh, I was so as soon as he said, "Oh, we're in the Shintaka system," I'm like,
You
I know where
knew
that.
that? Wow. I was like shiitake mushrooms. That's all I thought of.
Mitch,
Huh.
I have a disease, and that is
We know that, John.
I
We know
need
that.
to or an addiction, and I
Yeah.
need to consume Star Trek pretty much every day.
And the doctor says if you don't stop, you're gonna go blind, John,
It's true. He
Mhm.
blinded me with Star Trek.
or something else. But yes, it is
I
quite
have-
good.
I don't have hair in my palms. I'm fine.
Hey man, Palm Sunday was the other day. Let me just tell you, after suffering through those shitty years of Discovery, this is so nice and refreshing to actually have stuff to look forward to. Like imagine years ago they said, hey, Star Trek's coming back on TV. Yay! And then you had to go sit through 4 years of crap. You're like, I hate Star Trek. We used to come on the show and scream and yell at each other like, what is this? Why are we watching this? Why are you doing this to us, John? I hate you. I hate everything. And now I'm like, oh, I like Star. So much so, I've bought a Star Trek novel, which I haven't bought in years. And before Franco got his Coda thing, I started listening to this Strange New Worlds. I'm watching my box DVD set I got of Strange New Worlds every night because I like it again. Holy crap. It's like a renaissance. It's like, what happened? Where were we? It was like the blip, they snapped their fingers and you suffered
Speaking-
through 5 years.
Speaking of being excited for Star Trek again, I was busy as were you, John, with C2E2. But did I hear they released a release date for Strange New World season 2?
June 20th, I think it is.
Right,
Or
something like that. I know late
yeah.
June. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I'll
So
have
we're
time
gonna-
to watch it.
We'll get a little break and then we'll come back in late June and we'll do more. Absolutely. Matt, and I agree with you, Matt. I'm not sure what's going on with Jack.
Yeah.
Is he some kind of Nexus energy baby? Yeah, again, I think we'll learn next week or this week.
Nexus, I like
He's a
Nexus energy,
MacGuffin.
baby.
He's
So-
like the Maltese Falcon right now.
So did they use that kind of like body manipulation thing that he did with the young LaForge there? Did they do that with Picard and Crusher and have them make this baby? Is that what happened? What happened?
Wow.
Yeah,
Little force
Something
fucking.
ugly.
I don't know.
a little force action.
I'm not sure. Oh, that's Langley's with you on Tilly. Sexy
Yeah.
as hell, he says. Absolutely hilarious.
Hey
Fantastic.
Langley, weren't you supposed to be at C2E2? What happened?
He said here. I'll go
Oh,
back
I'm sorry.
to.
Did I miss it?
comment.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm glad you mentioned it because truly, here he said, "Gentlemen, I'm so angry. Couldn't make it to C2E2. My knee gave out on me, and I was in bed all weekend."
Ah,
Dude, we so hear you, man. It's okay. I had another friend tell me a similar story that was going to come as well. So yeah,
Well, if Langley could make it to Terrificon, July 28th to the 30th, tickets are on sale right now. You'll be there with Jonathan Frakes and a lot of the other favorite Star Trek people. So make sure you beam out to the Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut this July 28th to the 30th for Terrificon.
did you get Marina? Oh no, you got his other wife. Sorry.
I get his real life wife. I'm sorry.
wife.
Yeah, I got
Great.
Jeannie Francis.
the great Jeannie Francis,
Great
Laura
Jeannie.
from Luke and Laura of General Hospital. And that's nice. He says I'll actually look into it. Very
Oh,
good.
there you go. There you go. You can hit
Oh, I
your
recommend it,
did not
Langley.
know, Mr. John Suntress, Mr. Oracle of Delphi. I announced actor John Glover, and as I was doing his credits, I came across a Star Trek Deep Space Nine reference. Who was he, Johnny? What did he play?
Mitch, I have that answer for you.
Oh my
Do
God.
You know? Did you look it up who he played?
No, go ahead. Tell me, because I
He-
saw it and I go, I bet you know.
He was a Trill, and he.
I remember that.
In the
Yeah.
first season, he steals the Dax symbiote
Mhm.
and puts it in him, and it's fantastic because he's prior to joining with Dax, he's real timid and scared and everything, and then he gets him, and again he's got Dax in him, so he feels kinship with Cisco because Dax has known Cisco since Curzon, so he's my good friend Benjamin, and he's almost conflicted, like, no, don't hurt Benjamin. Benjamin is my friend. It's a great performance by John Glover, a fantastic
there you
performance.
go.
So yeah, no, he for only doing that one episode of Deep Space Nine, great, interesting character. So I'm thrilled that he's coming. I mean, Lionel Luther, good Lord. And even before that, you guys remember an 80s movie called The Chocolate Wars? It's about a Catholic school. It's a great teen. I was just ranking on, I was just ranking on teen drama for Star Trek. This is a great 80s teen movie. takes place at a Catholic school, and Glover is one of the asshole monks or priests or whatever, and is brother. Thank you, incredibly diabolical in this thing. Really, really great movie. The kid from Weird Science, not Anthony Michael Hall, the other kid,
Ian Mitchell Smith, who will also be at Terrificon on July 28th.
Oh wow, you got both and Anthony Michael Hall, right?
Weird Science reunion.
Now we're missing Kelly LeBrock.
Yeah, where's Kelly LeBrock? Damn it!
That's another story that we can talk about off camera. But Ian Mitchell Smith was also on Superboy with Christopher Gerard for 4 years.
Yeah, well, then just forget about Kelly LeBrock and see if you could get the giant rocket that comes up through the middle of the house instead. Do that.
Okay. For you phallic-loving people out there, I will get a big giant rocket to emerge from the floor. So,
I just want Ian to say to Anthony Michael Hall, Gary, and that great nerd voice of his, man. I love that movie. Weird Science is a great movie. It's a weird, funny movie.
Why don't you get? It doesn't go over well in today's.
Probably not. Probably
but
not.
To complete, if you can't get Kelly LeBrock, you know what you should do is you should get the two guys that were bullying him, Robert Downey Jr. and the other guy.
Oh,
I don't remember the other guy.
Whatever happened to that Downey Jr. guy? I know he was on Saturday Night Live at one point.
And Ian's older brother Chet was
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Which is the great line in that movie. Like, I think it's like, Chet, why are you such a dick? And he goes, I get off on it, all right. And I just love that.
There was another line in that movie. Now we're going off on a weird science.
No,
tangent.
do it.
But when at the end when he's wearing women's underwear, his little brother, and he goes, "Why don't you have some self-respect? Cover it up." And he takes his towel off. And he's naked underneath to give him the towel to put on.
Yep.
Don't they turn him into a big pile of shit in that movie?
Yeah. Some sort of weird monster. Yeah. He's farting all the time and really gross. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
If they were in Star Trek, they would have eaten him.
Bill Pullman. He was a good guy. I like
Matt says, and he's right. This is my least favorite episode this season, but if this is bad, we're in good hands. Completely.
Well, that's because we're talking about Weird Science. He's talking about Picard, not this one. Sorry.
It wasn't like, remember when they had the bus stop with all the illegal aliens? They ran for the border in Star Trek season 2, Picard. You're like, what's going on here now? What is happening here? And I don't know.
Well, and bring
back crystal balls.
I know, right? I was thinking of all people. Well, I told you they did reference him because the name of the ship that Dr. Crusher was on was the same name as his health clinic that he married that woman.
Oh, I missed that one. That's right.
Oh, I forgot that. That's
a reference to him. So everybody got acknowledged. The only thing they didn't acknowledge was Alison Pill's character.
Or Legolas.
Yeah.
But he's doing Galaxy
The more I think about the more I think about it, the more I hate season 2 of Picard. 100%, man.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind because, again, I have an addiction. And certainly, as I saw our old comic book friends at C2E2 creators that do like Star Trek, I am always amazed at these writers who I really respect. It's like, I actually like season 2 of Picard. And I'm like, the writing was horrible.
Yeah.
It made no sense. Like you said, Mitch, the immigrants on the bus, didn't freeing them change the timeline?
Yeah.
Didn't
Crystal Ball staying back there.
Yeah.
Crystal Ball staying back there. Agnes kicking the shit out of the bar guy and killing him.
Please. How about the whole time weird thing where they fell back in time? They show back on the bridge and certain people aren't there anymore that were there a second ago. It's like, hey, what happened to Captain Crystal? We don't talk about that. And I am now part of the Borg Queen and everything's good now. It's like, what?
Remember how it was almost as good as the Discovery episodes? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Langley said, and he's right, I did see that they named a ship after Annie Wershing. Yeah. Pretty cool.
That was cool. I caught that too. It's a nice like how to. In fact, my friend who hates all post Star Trek stuff since the show's left, I told him I will buy this season when it comes out on DVD because they do that for these Paramount shows. And I said, you could watch this one because it's almost like a Next Generation movie. It's like an apology for that. Was it Insurrection the last? No, Nemesis.
Nemesis.
It's like, sorry that Nemesis kind of sucked and Data died. Here's the real, finale to the Next Generation cast.
I mean, like this one.
Yeah. That sucked. That movie.
Stanley wanted to know if we saw Tom King at C2E2. Wasn't he at MegaCon instead?
No, Tom wasn't at. I don't think he was.
Okay,
He
well,
will be at Terrificon, July 28th to the 30th. Tickets on sale now. Stop plugging my show. These people are writing this stuff. You're not getting free tickets. I need to pay bills. You got to buy your goddamn tickets.
Yeah, you don't wear like shirts.
You don't get your fan. Wait till you see the exclusive print done by Jim Ballant. Yeah, Jim Ballant.
Who is that Ordway behind you, Mitchell?
That is not Jerry Ordway. I left him at the bar today, but this is the new poster from Jerry Ordway for this year's show. Look at that. That's me as Captain Terrificon's uncle, Uncle Terrificon.
Oh, you're like Uncle
Hey,
Douglas?
who did the cover to your program?
I have those because I'm coming by the All Yeah comic book shop located in Harrison, New York this weekend. Even though it's a religious holiday, I will be there to drop off tickets and flyers with artwork done by Mr. Franco.
All right, you got, and again, and like, who am I asking right now? But you got Good Friday and you got Easter Sunday. So what do they call Saturday?
Holy Saturday.
Yeah.
Is it called
I
Holy
could be there Saturday. I'm going to drive up on Saturday. If the store is open, is it open?
Is that
so, yes.
is that point in the mythos kind of like when Spider-Man is under all the shit and then he lifts it up?
Oh, come
so
on.
it's just like on Saturday, is that Jesus pushing the rock?
Come on, we're not doing sacrilegious stuff now.
I
Come on
did.
now.
He just did.
I just did.
Oh, I can tell you something off camera about some religious motif that's going on in the news right now. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But it's weird.
Mike,
it is pretty damn Ordway art. Damn pretty Ordway art. Yes.
Yeah. Mike acknowledging that. Very nice.
Gary and I had a meaningful conversation today on our podcast, the Power Cosmic podcast, recorded on this phone, about the failure of Shazam 2 and why did it bomb? Because it's actually a pretty good movie.
I saw it. I liked it.
I know. It's like Warner Brothers said, we're not spending a dime on this thing. Good luck. Goodbye. See you. Yeah. It's too bad. Too bad.
Isn't that weird? They did it with Ed Norton's Hulk movie as well.
Yeah.
Marvel abandoned it. And it's like, I mean, I get that from an editorial or creative standpoint, they're going to go in a different direction, but you already made the movie.
Right. You want money back,
don't you? Do okay?
Nope.
I guess not.
Just forgot about it.
Oh, well.
Anyway, Trekkie. How about that Mandalorian?
Haven't watched it yet.
Mitch, I'm literally only halfway through episode 1.
Okay.
And it's because Chucky guilted me on it this weekend. He's like, what are you waiting for? And I'm like, you're right. I'm not watching those things.
All right.
How about,
have you watched Star Wars Rebels, John?
Bad Batch? Have you watched Bad Batch?
Okay, all right. Lay off. I'm halfway through Clone Wars. I'm going to go through all of it. I've been a little busy.
What Francis is saying, I will.
No.
I will not agree.
There's a lot of references in The Mandalorian from Star Wars Rebels.
Yes, there are characters and everything. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'll get to it all. I promise you. Yeah. And Langley agrees. The promotion for Shazam 2 was terrible.
Oh,
yeah.
There was no promotion. It was like, and to ruin it, if you haven't seen the movie, no one has, and no one gives a shit at this point. The end of the movie, I'm going to tell you now, spoiler alert.
No, don't do it. Don't do
it. It was ruining the commercials for the show.
I haven't seen it yet.
Then,
did you see the commercial?
Don't do it then. Please don't do it. Respectfully, please don't do it.
Wayne knows what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do know what you're talking about.
I still may see it, and if Franco and I'm going to say,
all right.
Thank you.
Okay.
I already saw it, but I don't want him to spoil it.
Okay.
You saw it. You saw 3 movies with your kid. You told us about it.
Langley says, I'm really digging Mandalorian season 3, especially the great Ed Best cameo. Such a redemption for the actor. Okay.
He did. He showed up and he killed Jar Jar on screen. It was unbelievable.
And Matt says, new season of Bad Batch started off.
Yeah.
Fantastic
That's
ending.
True.
Very good.
That's true.
I haven't watched I didn't realize the season finale of Quantum Leap was last night as we're recording. So I will gotta watch that. I gotta catch up on that.
I saw John Wick Quattro.
Did you?
How was it?
Yes. Loved it.
I liked it.
He only said 300 words, I heard.
But
well, it was funny because during the film, I don't know if I said this last time, but during the movie, I leaned over to my son. I'm like, is it me or did he say less words in this movie than he did in the last 3? And then I went home, looked it up, and he did. He said less words progressively during each movie. Yeah.
But did you stay all the way to the end?
Yes.
Okay.
Again,
I'll say it.
Yeah, there's an end credit right after all the credits. that could talk about a potential new series in the John Wick universe.
Oh, it's about his dog, isn't it?
Yes. That dog is skillful.
It
It's
is.
like,
You do
it's
not
like
want to
Pizza
piss
Dog
off
and-
that dog. Once you do something to John Wick, that dog gets very upset.
It's
It's
true.
like Pizza Dog and Hawkeye. Yes.
Pizza dog.
I agree with Mike. Metalis and team have been the Sam Beckett's of Star Trek, leaping through the mythos, putting right what once was wrong.
Oh,
And
by the way,
eventually they make the journey home.
what is Paramount's current stance on all the expanded universe novels and comics? Do they acknowledge that, or is it just if you want to read, it's fun, but it's not going to tie into?
Yeah, it's not. No, I don't think I wouldn't count on it being. Well,
canon.
excuse me, Mitch. I am wrong because I do think that the Discovery and Picard novels they have declared is in canon. Yes,
That's what I want to tell you about. Did you know there was a Picard novel out there?
so there are several.
Yeah, but this one, I guess it says it bridges the gap between season 2 and season 3 and kind of gives a little backstory to a lot of the stuff that, we just opened up with. I wasn't that confused about what was going on, but apparently there's enough material out there that they made a Picard novel.
Well, I have to say
Prequel.
that even the Discovery novels are better than the series.
Well-
So, and the Trek novelists give a shit and do pay attention to canon.
Yeah.
So, I'd certainly be willing to try. I know there was a Wrathy 7 audio adventure that happened between seasons 1 and 2 of Picard, and I know there was by the way, there was a Crystal Ball novel.
Really? Wow.
For Picard, absolutely. And I know there's a prequel novel about Jean-Luc between Nemesis and the first season.
Oh.
So, and all right, there you go. And I agree with Langley. The novelists are actually huge fans.
Yeah.
Well, again, case in point, John Jackson Miller and his excellent work for decades on Star Trek novels.
How many years?
Mike Friedman as well.
How many years is this supposed to be between season 3 and season 2? I didn't really think there was that big a gap for Picard.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not sure if they've declared it or not. I don't think it's been more than a year or so. I mean, obviously, Wrathy and 7, it seems like there might be a little distance between them being together and not, but not a lot.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, and I agree with Langley. Langley says Prodigy scratches my itch for an Academy show already. I agree. And I guess in response to that, I don't know much about the Starfleet Academy show that was just announced, but I'm just not interested in the concept. I hope it surprises me. Agreed at both. And by the way, I've been in touch with the Habermans, the showrunners of Prodigy, and they do promise they will come on and do a show with me, but it will likely be whenever they're coming back. And I'm guessing it's late summer. And that's what they said. They're like, we don't have a firm date. We're pretty sure it's back late summer.
I haven't heard any rumblings about Lower Decks lately. Could it be gone?
No, they announced that it got renewed again, along with the Strange New Worlds season 3 announcement.
Curses.
So, no. Hey, man, I honestly think every season Lower Decks has gotten better.
Yeah, we still have that crossover with Strange New Worlds to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. See. No, I truly, and I mean, I loved, after the first episode, the second Peanut Hamper.
Yeah,
the XCOM, and I love the idea that the evil AI is plotting, and I forget who he was plotting with, Wayne.
Oh, he's with all the other evil AIs.
He's voiced by
Jeffrey Combs.
Who will be at that
Terrific
show?
out.
Yeah.
So along with Andrew Robinson. Hold on, Francis. Really another great, terrific on. Sorry, Mitch, if you didn't already.
Garrick.
Yeah, we got Wayun and Garrick along with Dax and Riker.
I actually thought about bringing in the other Dax because I didn't realize, again, another plug, Anthony Michael Hall was on the Dead Zone for 6 years, and I have Sean Patrick Flannery, who was Young Indy in my world, but he apparently was on Dead Zone as the politician guy that was the Martin Sheen character in the movie. But his wife was DeBoer, Nicole DeBoer.
Nicole DeBoer.
The other Dax.
Adorable. Oh my God.
So I was like, I should bring
Canadian.
her. Do a reunion.
She is an amazing Canadian. What was the name of that Generation Ship sci-fi series she did before Deep Space Nine? Do you remember that, Wayne? It's a Canadian show. It was on Sci-Fi Channel. Maybe somebody in the Maybe somebody on the chat will remember or look it up. But yeah, it was all these kids on a ship that was going.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about. It was on Sci-Fi Channel here.
Yep. He's on it.
So
the Odyssey?
My question from before that I wanted to ask, since Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks is doing a crossover, does that mean that they're going to be releasing them like around the same time, or like one right after the other? Or
I would guess. I would
have to guess, right?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So that Larry says it's generation something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't even remember watching it, but I do remember flipping by and going, "Hey, she's cute." She was just on. Sorry, Mitch. She was just on the Shuttle Pod one Trek show that Malcolm and Trip do. Those actors.
Okay.
And she was just a guest star. She looks like she just stepped off of the Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Still
she's
lovely.
Something. So she's not that.
No, but she looks great.
Oh, she doesn't age.
No.
Yeah.
Well, how did her character end on that show? I mean, she didn't end up with Bashir, did she? How did Dax end?
She did at the end of DS9. They were together, and in the novels post DS9, they're together. But then something happens, and I didn't read what happened. But she's on a ship and still in Starfleet, and Julian is catatonic, and Garrick is taking care of him. But he literally is like. Nobody can, he doesn't speak. He just seems to be staring off into space. And finally, in that great 3-volume end to the novel continuity, Ezri joins the cause, and Garrick tells Bashir, "Julian, Ezri's in trouble. She needs us." And then he snaps out of his coma, and he's like, "All right."
Spoilers.
I was gonna say Franco's reading those books now. He doesn't have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him back on the shelf, not read them.
That's like me telling you about the end of Shazam 2.
Well, again, it's those great little moments that really make a difference in terms of great writing. And you'll forgive me, Franco, because I know you've been harping on this season and why it's good. But that's what I've been saying about New Trek and why it isn't good. Bad writing.
Okay, the show you're thinking about is Deepwater Black, and I don't think it showed up here in Canada. Because I do not remember this.
I do not remember a show called Deepwater.
I assumed it was a Canadian production, honestly.
Could be Canadian, but doesn't mean we get them all.
So what the hell is this show that John's talking about? Because I remember his show. He's talking about kids in space.
A virus breaks out and leaves the humans residing on Earth doomed. However, in a desperate attempt before the end, all humanity's resources are dedicated to crash program to produce a deep space ark capable of seeding humanity on a new world. The ship is crewed by 6 clones, teenage versions of the people who achieve great works during the ARC project, and were equipped with a whole bunch of stuff.
There you go. Langley knows what's going on. In America, it was called Mission Genesis. That's why we don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
The boot.
Yeah, it was cool. And really, I think sci-fi is having a resurgence between The Magicians was a really good show.
Yes.
The Expanse was a good show. And now, of course, Wayne and I are loving the Ark, of course. Anybody in the chat also watching the Ark? I know Mitch and Franco aren't. Are probably behind. Are you caught up?
No, I again been busy.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's great. It is, and it's only getting better. I think the conspiracy is only getting more interesting.
Okay,
and
stop with the spoilers. I haven't watched the last couple episodes.
Not giving details. I just think everyone's no, it's good. Writing's really good.
When Buck Rogers showed up, it was amazing.
Awesome, and he sang the theme song.
Gil Gerard.
He did. He showed up on the Ark.
Come on.
Langley isn't watching yet, but he only hears great things. It was just this great surprise, and I'm so thrilled that there's a ship in space show that isn't named Star Trek or Star Wars that I'm actually enjoying. So it's a thrill. Not since The Expanse. Good stuff. All right. Anyway, anything else we can wrap, boys? We're at about an hour.
I don't know what else is there out there.
I got nothing else.
And Mike says not sure if we have an arc over here. I don't know where you're at, Mike, but he's a fan of Dean Devlin's other shows, Leverage and Librarians. Absolutely, man.
And if something works out well, a person that was on The Librarians might be there.
Noah Wiley?
Keep tuning in, kids.
I had the pleasure of interviewing Noah Wiley when he was doing Dark Skies for TNT.
That was a cool
I
show.
remember that show.
He was really cool, and I said the right thing, because when he played Steve Jobs in Pirates of Silicon Valley, a great TNT movie from the late 90s with aforementioned Anthony Michael Hall as Bill Gates, who, by the way,
will be a terrific on.
Will be a terrific on. Sorry, I missed that plug. Yes, terrific on.
But I'm like, I was telling, and it was before Steve passed away, but I'm like, Noah, you stop at when Apple is saved by Microsoft and everything, and I'm like, God, there's like another 10 or 20 years of continuity to do. And he said, God, you are so right. And he said, I love that role. And I'm like, you were amazing, man. As Langley says, it really is one of the better TV movies of the last 30 years. Seriously.
Was it HBO or something?
No, it was TNT.
Oh, okay.
And it really is the story of both Microsoft and Apple. Them in the garage building the first computers and stuff. Oh, and also Chris Cantwell, who's become a buddy, doing Halt and Catch Fire, basically the same kind of 80s era of computers and stuff. No, it's so, and he and I have talked about how great that movie is. It's really great. So yeah, you can find, like, I know there's a DVD of it. I know they made a DVD of it. So worth checking out.
Wayne, have any stories of Anson Mount at not Terrificon, but C2E?
No. I can say this, that on Sunday night, as I was walking to the elevator, the Hyatt in Orlando, a lady walked in, and just as about the doors were closing, this gentleman, rather tall gentleman with a baseball cap, rushed right in, went straight to the corner, and was scrolling on his phone. So as the lady went out, I said, hey, have a great evening. Oh, thank you. And then I was next to leave because Anson was on the 16th floor and I was on the 11th. Not that I was taking notice of which floor he was on.
Stalker. Yeah.
Stalker. So yeah, as I left the elevator, I said, hey, sir, hope you have a great evening. He said, oh, yeah, thank you. Yes, you too. Sounded really rough. I think him and Ethan Peck had a night out Saturday night, because he sounded like you would sound. You know how you sounded on Sunday at Terrificon? Right there.
Yeah. I tend to. I only go out once a year, like a groundhog on Groundhog Day, and I imbibe with my guests like I should, because I'm the mayor of Terrificon. But my wife yells at me because somebody needs to open up the donut shop at 6 a.m. and get the donuts ready. And
and by being out all night, what we mean is 3 a.m. milkshakes.
We've already had a discussion about that prior to the show about my late night escapades and how they're going to change a little bit.
That's
I'm growing a mustache.
Guess what we're gonna do?
Yeah, Mitch, you really gotta highlight the edges, because right now kind of looks like you're rocking a Hitler, which isn't a good look for you.
Now you know what I'm looking like. You remember Steve Martin when he did Inspector Clouseau, the Pink Panther remake?
Yeah, I understand.
I'm getting that little thing going on.
I understand.
You look like evil Vince McMahon right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
I saw that. No, I had the goatee going, and she said, what is that? I said, it's my evil Mitch from the Mirror Universe look. And she goes, well, cut it out. So I shaved this part off.
I would pencil in more on the outside, because right now it's seriously in the middle. And it's like when Jordan, remember Jordan for like 3 months was rocking a Hitler? And I'm like, where's your PR department to go, Michael? Chaplin was the last guy that was able to do it. And even he stopped after Hitler hit the scene.
I was going to say, yeah, he kind of ruined it for the rest of the people.
Well, yeah.
Hitler ruined
it, but Jordan is like, I'm such a superstar that maybe I can bring this back. I can make it like, away from Hitler, but I don't think he could.
No.
Not even Jordan could pull it off. J. Jonah Jameson is the only one that pulled off the Hitler stash in the last 60 years.
Parker.
right now, Vince McMahon. Look at a picture of Vince McMahon. He looks like J. Jonah Jameson right
I
now.
should have grabbed it. It is really ugly.
Ah.
And like dyeing his hair and that mustache. Maybe he's making a movie.
Wait, he died
One of those
here?
WWE movies.
Yeah, but I honestly thought because of the sale of WWE, I thought like someone put it up as a joke, at like, oh hey, now Vincent McMahon or something like that is going to be taking over as WWE. Like someone made it as a joke, but it wasn't. It was actually him.
No, he bought the UFC or something, right?
No, UFC bought WWE, or the same
Oh, is that
company
what
that
happened?
owned UFC. Yeah.
Endeavor bought the WWE. Yeah. Thank
Oh
God.
my
Yeah, there it is.
God.
Thank you. Good
Yeah,
job.
that's
That's
it.
him?
Look at the picture.
Holy
like-
Jesus.
That looks like it's like Latin American Vince.
No, it looks
McMahon.
like a fat Wayne Newton.
But I
That's
thought it
good.
was someone who did that. I thought somebody photoshopped that and was going to put up a fake headline like Vincent McMahon is going to take over WWE. New
Exactly.
owner.
Mario. Yes,
but
he looks like
this is,
Mario.
This is my Latin American cousin, Juan McMahon. We don't like to talk about him. Hello, my friends. Saludos, my friends.
Rich
You know who you
Corinthian
are.
lover.
It's the Ricky Ricardo of Vince McMahon. Yes. I don't understand. I really don't understand what the hell's going on.
You know what I want? I want one of those big Kurt Russell mustaches. Did you see him in Hateful Eight?
Yeah.
He was like a giant
The
handlebar.
handlebar.
Oh my God, that's
Sure.
a stash. That guy can grow hair on his
Oh,
face.
yeah.
I tell you.
Well, that's why I loved him as Ego. Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
Mike
he
is
had a
right.
good beard in that one. Yeah.
Vincenzo McMahon.
Vincenzo.
Exactly.
Yes. Because Spielberg. Spielberg. Yes.
Oh my God,
Yes,
that's
indeed.
awesome.
Yes, indeed.
But no, I loved when Kurt was Ego. Oh, you're taking a whiz, man. And then we found out the dark secret of Ego. That's a good trailer too. They kept playing it on before all the panels at C2E2, the Guardians trailer.
Number 3.
Yeah. Someone asked earlier about the Blue Beetle trailer. I have to confess I haven't seen it yet.
I saw it. It
But
looks
I
like
Did they drop a new Spider-Verse trailer today too?
they did, but the Blue Beetle one, real quick, it's almost like the Greatest American Hero kind of thing. Like, oh, I don't know what this suit's gonna do. And I'm like, oh my God, if they had played that music in the background, believe it or not, it would be fun.
That song.
But they
Believe
played
it or not, I'm not Ted Cord.
But they played some music in the thing. I don't know the song, but I think the lyrics are like, I don't want to see this. That's the lyrics or something. I'm like, why would you put that behind a movie trailer? I'm like thinking, well, subliminally, I don't want to see it. But no, the Spider-Verse one came out. That's the one you really want to see. That's the good movie.
Well,
Yeah, I haven't seen any of this stuff.
I didn't see Free Guy in the theaters, and I finally watched it with Chuck a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I do like when he turns around, when Ryan Reynolds turns around the big shredded version of him when he puts the glasses on him, and they start playing
Spoilers. Come on, I haven't seen
Greatest
that either.
American Heroes movie. Well,
Ah,
all right, it's been over a year. I'm sorry.
has it?
Free Guy, I think so.
I don't know. I didn't see it. I saw the Captain America bit. That was it.
Which killed me. That was fantastic.
Chris Evans.
Oh my God. Yeah, what the fuck? No, it's Free Guy's fun. I have to say, I mean, if you got HBO Max, there's a worse way to spend an hour and a half. I mean, it's pretty entertaining.
Have you been watching Perry Mason?
Loving it. Great
Perry
show.
Mason's a good show.
Great show. It's fantastic.
I just think of Howard Chaykin when I watch that show. I don't know why. It
I
seems
can
like a
appreciate
Chaykin world.
Yeah,
Like
I
he can
can
live there,
really.
Oh yeah,
Free
Chaykin
Guy?
definitely lives there.
right?
Free Guy was almost 3 years ago. Really?
No, it wasn't. Oh, well, you know what? It came out during the COVID, so yeah,
Yeah.
that weird gap thing. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, really, when it God, Jill Thompson and I at C2E2, we were talking, and I brought up a memory, and she's like, "Yeah, that was 10 years ago." I'm like, "No way, was it 10 years ago?"
That happens to be all the time.
well, we did some on the show here. We talked about something, and somebody said it was 10 years ago. I was like, what?
It's shocking, honestly. Man, all right, I'll name check some people that I was so glad to see. And yeah, of course, Franco. But also Fabio Moon, it was so great to see him. Cully Hamner, who will be talking Blue Beetle and Star Trek. He really wants to talk Picard. So I should invite him on one of our shows, Cully, if we want a fifth. God, who else out of town? Stephanie Phillips, Kyle Higgins, David Pepos.
Did you see Chris Evans?
No.
No?
Although Mike Nagan had a funny story because Mike is much like you're the mayor of Terrificon. Mike is the mayor of C2E2 and had a big sash on, and he had this fantastic like ringmaster. I kept calling him Sergeant Pepper sort of outfit with the brushes on the shoulders, like the
Yeah.
And he had a top hat on too.
He had a top hat on, and he had to do something backstage in Autograph Row. And Evan's security like, "Hey, you can't be back here." And Mike has a much better demeanor than I, because I would be like, "Fuck you, I run this place."
Yeah, I pay you, mother. Yeah.
And he's like, "No. He goes, I know this looks silly, but I'm with the show." Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Well, that's just your general appearance, though.
Yeah, I know.
No.
So he wore a top hat. So he got word out that I had that Superman cape on. He's just trying to top me. I'll have to surprise him this year.
But he has to have the Superman cape and hold
hands with
Isad's hand
bitch,
while walking.
Yes. The Svengoolie panel went great, guys. I can't tell you how great it was. That's interesting. I didn't know Susan Sarandon is in Blue Beetle playing Ted's ex-wife. Cool.
Yeah, I saw that.
So yeah,
and I'm the voice of the Black Widow on Marvel's radio shows. They have like a 10-part audio drama. It's got a weird cast. It's got Elliot from 30 something. I can't remember his name. The red-haired guy with the beard. He plays
something Busey. Tim Busey.
Busfield.
Timothy Busfield. Yeah,
he's in Revenge of the Nerds. Timothy Busfield. Yes.
Yeah,
and Busfield. That's right. And then they got T-1000 guy. What's his name?
Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick is Wolverine.
Oh, that's
Susan
interesting.
Sarandon is Black Widow. And it's just like the oddest cast, and it's an audio drama, so they all have parts, and it's like called Wastelanders. It's like a weird future Marvel where like Doctor Doom took over the Earth and everything's been destroyed. And
that's kind of cool, though.
It is, but they're like 10-part little stories, and she's on it, and I'm like, wow, would not have put her on a Marvel thing, but she's there. So.
Yeah, Robert Patrick is Wolverine.
Yeah,
Stephen Lang is Hawkeye.
That stuff. So.
Yeah, I guess it's called the Wastelanders. It's the
Wastelanders. Yes,
what are you in the future? Chris, I met at Terrificon. It's nice to see you, Chris. Thanks, man. And he said I did a good job moderating the Sven panel. Thank you, man. Oh, and Lang says it's the Old Man Logan universe.
Yes, that's it. It's the Millar, Mark Millar.
Well, yeah, he did the original, obviously, Old Man Logan. But now I'm blanking. The Marvel writer with the really deep voice, son of a bitch, and he's been the Wolverine writer lately. Ben Oliver, is that right?
Ben Oliver is an artist.
Okay, no. Then no.
Steve McNiven was the artist on the Old Man Logan.
I know that, but that's not who I'm talking about. It's a writer. And he was telling me he's been writing audio for Marvel and set in, because I think he also did Old Man Quill. He did an Old Man Star-Lord, basically. So Ben Percy. Thank you, Langley. Absolutely.
Yes.
Ben Percy. That's
Ben Percy. Debo the monkey.
Great guy. Great. I love Ben. Terrific and a hell of a writer. And that's been my kind of recurring thing talking to writers. I'm like, this audio drama stuff. And as you guys know, I love old time radio drama, but there's a lot of really good new modern audio drama being made. And certainly both DC and Marvel are killing it in these areas. And Ben is one of those guys. Yes. Sorry, Chris. It was C2E2 that we met this weekend. Hey, Art Balthazar enjoying the brunch.
Hey, Art's there.
Boy, oh boy.
Monkeys love art.
It's true. Oh, that's true. True story. Stanley wants to know if we've watched Poker Face. Not yet.
I have, because the last episode is filmed at the Mohegan Sun, home of Terrificon. Yeah.
There you go. I'm hearing great things about it. And all my friends that are diehard Columbo people are like, you gotta watch it.
It is. It's very Columbo-esque.
Even the
credits, even the way the credits go in the beginning, it's like the old time. Yeah.
Oh, like the NBC Mystery Wheel.
Yep. I'm almost waiting for that Mark IV anvil thing to come at the end.
Well, that's Dragnet, but no,
Dragnet,
the NBC one, that was Henry Mancini did that music.
Oh, did he really?
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
Henry Mancini, big pothead, by the way. Just saying.
He's dead.
Well, but before then.
So is
Maybe
Gene
that
Potter.
killed him. Yeah. John Williams hung out with him too, but Johnny Williams is still alive.
Wesley, and I can answer this. Wesley wants to know, he hasn't read Marvel since War of Realms wrapped up. Anything worth checking out? Yeah, plenty, man.
Yeah.
Too much to mention. Honestly, and that was, by the way, and I wanted to mention this as well. I wanted to talk to CB Cebulski all weekend. I know he's going to be at Terrificon. I'm aware of that. But I was literally like, oh, man, I didn't see him. Chucky and I are waiting for our Uber. We go to the lobby and waiting for his ride to have dinner Sunday night, CB Cebulski. And I'm like, oh, thank God. So we had like a 5-minute talk. I love CB. And immediately he was so sweet. And even like to his friend, he's like, I'm not just saying this because John is next to me. John does such a great podcast and blah. And I'm like, oh, my man. I'm like, that's beautiful. So no, honestly, Wesley, there's a lot of great stuff to read. Read Hickman's X-Men. That's post War of Realms.
Hickman's Avengers.
Hickman's Avengers. Zdarsky's Daredevil has been incredible.
That was good.
Going on. I met Zeb Wells.
Not Hickman's Avengers. Jason Aaron's Avengers, right?
Jason's
Hickman did Hoxpox, didn't he?
Immortal Hulk was fantastic. I don't know if you got
yes,
that.
Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk.
Al Ewing.
Agree with that. Yep. Lots of Jerry Duggan stuff.
Yeah.
Oh God, Langley says too. Yeah, Gail Simone's variants. Excellent. Very, very good. Yeah, plenty.
Brand new Doctor
yes,
okay, right here. Look at that.
Excellent. Mark Waid did a great Invisible Woman miniseries and a great Strange miniseries. As Langley says, Hickman is about to do a new Ultimate Universe book as well. Absolutely. So yeah, there's tons. Man.
There's always good stuff.
Both companies, despite all of the stuff that's happening upstairs, they're still putting out great product, man.
What about that whole Perlmutter getting fired?
That's funny. I talked to several people about that. And no, it's I think that's a good thing because I think he's kind of put the handcuffs on both. Well, his influence in TV and film ended years ago, but I think he's been putting his handcuffs on all three divisions of Marvel, and they don't have to worry about that anymore.
No, he was the reason why they canceled the FF. Remember that?
Yes, indeed, and why he wanted to promote the Inhumans as opposed
instead
to
of the mutants. Yeah, instead of X-Men. That's right. I forgot about that.
And that would have been fine if they could do it well. But they didn't.
Terrible show with Anson Mount came about because of that.
Black Bolt, yes.
Oh, it was bad.
It was. Well, again, it was made on the cheap.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's why they had to cut Medusa's hair.
Yeah, I know, right?
Save money on special effects.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, sadly, once again, bringing it back to Trek, it's like, hey, on Discovery, we've got a Trill symbiote, but it's in a human, and she can't connect to her past lives. Well, then why the fuck have a Trill? So anyway, what are you going to do?
Anger. You got a lot of...
I got a lot of hate. Oh, that's Mike Jones goes, a good cell line. Inhumans, I can't believe it's not X-Men. That's exactly right.
Basically, that was a tagline. It was bad.
Well said. Well played.
Oh
but Anson Mount actually made his own sign language.
He did?
Yeah, that was all made up by him. He went through to try to come up with, instead of doing like the American Sign Language, he came up with his own hand gestures.
Is he Italian? Because we have our own sign language too that people don't
say that. I talk with my hands all the time.
Wayne, have you been to any Anson Mount panels?
Yes.
And does he any other interesting insight regarding getting the job or?
Oh, which one for
Pike?
For Pike, just like an audition, it was just he wasn't expecting it. Like a lot of them, they'll talk about they'll talk about, I really didn't expect to get this job.
Yeah.
And that there's always the same number, but now it's a lot different because they'll do everything remotely. They'll film their audition on the camera and send it in. Yeah. So they don't really go into a casting call.
What show was he on prior to that? Was he on
Hell
Sons
on
of
Wheels?
Anarchy?
Hell on Wheels. So the Western.
Oh, that's amazing.
Good show. Really good show.
Is it?
Yeah. Good Western. Absolutely. Wasn't O'Brien was on that too?
Yeah. Yeah, he was the head of the railroad line.
Yeah.
Miserable prick too in it.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Maybe I'll check that out.
He's amazing. I'm so bummed that he doesn't want to come back. He's so
Who's that?
great. Cole Meany as O'Brien.
Oh, yeah.
It's a shame. And I understand. I mean, God, when you add Next Generation, much like Worf, when you add his Next Generation years and Deep Space Nine, it's like,
he
that's
was on
like
a lot.
He was on like 15 years of that
stuff. just like what Michael Dorn. And it's like, that's a lot. So
yeah, but he was a movie actor. He was in like The Rock and The Replacements or the Commitments.
Yeah.
He was great in Commitments.
Tons of good movies. Absolutely. No, and that's why he's a great actor. And that's why
I'm assuming he's a big star over in Europe too. Or does he do like BBC stuff?
And
he was in Con Air. He was the
Con Air. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was the other FBI guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Langley says he hated living in the States.
Oh, no shit.
That. It's amazing, and thank God for streaming and other things, because really there are so many British-made and other UK countries-made films that don't make it here, but are available through streaming and cable and whatever. And oh my God, the movies we miss that I really think American audiences would love. And I don't know if it's just tougher for distribution deals or whatever, but again, thank God for these other avenues beyond theater that we can get things going. So, what are you going to do? All right, we can wrap up.
Oh, don't forget, since this is Easter weekend, everyone should be watching Easter Bunny Massacre.
All right, fantastic.
There you go.
Yeah, this time he finally is cracked.
Oh boy,
great tagline.
Boy, we should have ended 3 seconds ago.
I was going to say, I don't know any Easter. I was going to watch Cocaine Bear for Easter Sunday, but I guess not.
Not interested. It's all right.
Come on.
Cocaine Bear died for our sins. Absolutely.
That's right. Actually,
so
Cocaine Bear did die and did come back in the movie.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, come on. I was going to watch that this weekend.
You already saw that with your kids.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. All right.
Wrap it up.
We're 2 days away from the next episode 8. We'll certainly be back next time to talk about it. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Live long and prosper. Take it easy.